Hello, it's Sarah from Hardcover Hearts, and I'm here today with my week of reading wrap-up. This is where I talk about the books that I read, what I'm currently reading, and could potentially read next week, given my mood. So, I read a few books this week, and let's be honest, it was over the weekend because the week was really crazy. I didn't get a lot of reading done because I just had to work. There's a lot of work that is piling up and hitting now that is taking my time. And guess what? It's Booktube Prize time. So I am a judge for the Booktube Prize this year in the fiction category. Allow me to say, this is not my group, obviously. This is a lot more than the 6 books that I have to read by the end of March. But of the long list of 48 books, I already owned these. So I feel quite good that I have a lot of the books that are contenders, at least. So we'll see which make it through the rounds. But I'm not going to be able to talk about, as you know, the books that I'm currently reading for the Booktube Prize. So keep that in mind as we go through, that you're going to see a lot less of my current reads as we go through with the prize. But I feel very confident that I'll be able to read in between, so I'll still be able to have something to discuss as we go through the weeks. So let's get started. The first thing I will say is I always get nervous when somebody that I really like and I become friends with has an artistic side or an artistic nature, whether it be they're in a band or they're an actor or they're a photographer or something involved with the arts, because I feel very strongly about people I like and I want to support them. But what if you don't like it? What do you do then, you know? So I can, with so much gladness and happiness, share a book that I read that I absolutely 100% loved. And I was a little nervous. I wasn't sure if I was going to like it as much, but it was Hey Bert. And this is by Roberto Pastore, also known as Bert from Pastore Time. I will put a link to his channel below that he does with his wife, Shawnee. This is a collection of poetry, and I admit I'm not the expert in poetry. I'm still feeling my way into it and kind of new, but let me talk a little bit about what this experience of reading this was like for me. I loved the setup of the poems. They're broken into 3 sections, and the sections felt very grounding to me. They felt very like I got the connection immediately. Throat, belly, and heart. And so immediately I started thinking about the chakras and about the experience of what you're trying to do with these parts of your body. Throat is what you're trying to say. It's your communication channel. Then you've got belly. That's really your fears and your instincts and your gut. When we talk about your gut, right? And then you've got heart, which is your love. So I loved the setup, and I loved the categorization. And then these just felt, I started this a while ago, and I just slowly read the book as I felt inspired to pick it up. And every single time I would sigh with pleasure or feel inspired or feel like this poignant connection. These were really, really good poems. And I even went so far as reading a few of them to my husband, which he is absolutely not a poetry person. And so the fact that I was so moved to do so and wanted to kind of do that anyway, and then to have him say, "Oh, that was really lovely," or "Oh, that's like us, babe," made me so happy. It really felt like like listening to a friend kind of telling you things about their life that are interesting and relevant and speak to more universal truths, but at the same time, very specific particulars. I loved it. I thought it was so good. I gave it 5 stars because I can tell there are poems in here that I will be coming back to and that I think we're going to grow on me as I read these in the future years. So, Bert, well done. Just thank you for this. Okay, next up, I participated in the Persephonereadathon that happened last weekend, and I got a chance to read High Wages by Dorothy Whipple. So I've heard so much about this book. This is my Persephone copy. Let me show you the end pages, because don't you always love a Persephone end page? I have heard about High Wages. This is kind of one of the Persephone books that always ranked very, very highly. And this did not disappoint. This was fantastic. It's a story of a woman, and we meet her when she's around 18. She goes to the neighboring kind of bigger town in the UK, in Britain. As she's walking up to the high street, she looks at this store, and she sees a man, the shop owner, putting a sign in the window looking for someone, a shop girl. And this woman is savvy and smart and ambitious, and she sees this as an opportunity. So she presents herself as the person that they should hire, and immediately the owner is impressed. So she is able to, by getting this job, leave her home situation with her stepmother after her father has passed away and her mother died very early on, and start off on her own. She ends up boarding above the shop with another of the shop girl, and it's the start of her life. It's the start of her as a career woman, and at a time when everything is still very constrained for young women, and she has ideas, and she has really good ideas, and she establishes really good relationships with customers, and it's how she navigates the world in this experience and what happens to her, and how she harnesses her ambition without trying to hurt people, but people get hurt along the way. I absolutely loved this. I thought it was fantastic, and I recommended it to my mother. I hope she finds it, because I would love her to read it. But I'm not going to give her my Persephone copy, because this is too much so she can come and read it when she comes and visits. Okay, the next book I read, this is for Read German Books 2020. This was The Artificial Silk Girl by Irmgard Keun. So think of Paris Hilton if she was a German girl in the 1920s. So this is pre-war, and we know what's going to happen, but she does not. And she is flighty and promiscuous, and looking for any way that she can climb financial ladder, and she has to bring some money home to her family, but she also wants to pocket some so she can get the newest, best dress and fur, and she is going out to dinner with all of these people, and every night somebody new. So she's out there in the world living her life, but things start to go wrong for her, and she has to leave her town, and she goes to Berlin, where she's going to strike out on her own, and she's going to make her fortune. And what I thought was so compelling about this book is that ability that we know what's happening in every little encroachment that happens to her that she doesn't recognize as a big deal. We see what the impact is going to be of that, and so you're reading it with this dread, but at the same time watching her, and I'll say I was rooting for her, as morally depraved as she is and indifferent to most people. She does have these soft spots. There's a beautiful set of scenes where she has befriended a blind man who lives in beneath her, and she uses her description of her running around all day, and she basically describes Berlin to him and describes what's happening around the city. And I thought that was such a smart way to really show the decay and how fast things are changing. And yeah, it was really interesting. And it was very poignant too, a very tender portion of it. This was a really great read. I never would have picked it up. I never had heard about it until Read German Books 2020 project. So thank you so much to Mel and Britta. I'll put a link to their conversation about the project, and there's still time to join, of course. So excellent book. Highly recommend it. Then the last thing that I completed was The Second Sleep by Robert Harris. This I did in audio, and I found it a really great book. This kind of is a twisting of a historical mystery, where the history is really the future. And so the idea being that we advanced so far with technology that we were wholly dependent, and there was an apocalyptic incident that happened which left us without the ability to take care of ourselves. So we regressed back to almost feudal times, and the church reestablished its dominance in the culture. I thought it was such a smart way to have a historical mystery kind of set up. It was engaging and interesting to listen to. I really enjoyed it. Now let's talk about what we're currently reading. So, yes, I'm still reading Ducks, but I'm making more progress. So I have my In Real Life book club next week, and we are supposed to get to page 500. I'm very, very close to page 500, but I want to finish this very soon because it is just a huge weight on my shoulders. So Ducks will be propelled. I'll be reading this much faster, fingers crossed, and putting more time to that. Then I also want to finish Wolf Hall. So I don't think I'm going to get to the second one in advance of the third, which comes out in March. So I think I'm gonna finish Wolf Hall, and then I'm gonna put the rest of them off, unfortunately. I so wanted to participate in Cromwellathon, but the timing is just not right, and it's becoming a little stressful. So I don't want to rush it. I enjoyed what I've already read, and I want to continue with it at the right pace that makes sense for me. And now's just not the time with these things looming, as well as work really heating up. It's just not the best time for me right now. And then I've got some Booktube prize judging that I cannot speak about, so just know that it's going on, and I'm very excited about my group that I received. So what I could potentially be reading next, I just received this book in the mail yesterday, and it's not yet released in the US. It is Strange Hotel by Eimer McBride. Now, I loved The Lesser Bohemians. I love her approach. I love what she's saying. I've never read a woman talk about sex in a way that I related to, kind of first sexual experiences and all the intricacies of your first really deep emotional relationship and how confusing it is. I just thought it was so good. I'm thrilled to get into this, and it's a real slim one, so I think I might try to sneak this in. Let's see, it's it's almost novella-like. Yeah, 147 pages. And what's even better is I found out that she's coming to Berkeley, and so she's going to be giving a talk. So I already have my tickets. I can't wait. Looking forward to it. Then from Sean the Book Maniac, he did a whole video about Read German Books 2020 project and his pile of possibilities. And he mentioned a book that I already have this. And this is Effie Briest by Theodor Fontane. another Persephone. And oh, look at this. I'm not sure if you can see that, but that is a gorgeous, gorgeous end papers. So I might see if I can squeeze this in. We'll see, but this will be I think this will be my next Read German Book 2020 pick. And then I would feel really bad if I don't participate in the fantastically, deviously genius, diabolically genius creation of the quartet of Sean the Book Maniac, Mel of Mel's Bookland Adventure, Doris from Aldi Books, and Britta Bowler, The Second Shelf. They all came up with Mementomoriathon, and I think I gotta jump in. Specifically because I will be reading a book with Adam this next month, which it'll be Adam and Doris. We're going to read Outline, so that'll be coming up. We're not going to start it next week, though, I don't think. I might have to add that to the list. But I have these gorgeous editions of Muriel Sparks, and Memento Mori is a Muriel Sparks book, and he loves Muriel Sparks. I have this gorgeous copy of the Ballad of Peckham Rye. It's thin, a little thin thing, so maybe I'll try to see if I can knock my first Memento Mori bingo card slot out and start to make some progress there, because I really feel like it's really up to us in the community to do these community building things for Adam. Because he has no interest in doing these himself. So it's okay. We got it. We're going to handle it for you, Adam. We got it. So if you haven't seen those videos, number one, I can't imagine that you're watching my channel and you're not already watching those. I'll link them below because they're absolutely hilarious. That's all I have. I hope you have a fantastic week. And I hope you have a great weekend ahead, and I will look forward to talking with you soon. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.